Hey, this is PJ, and I want to welcome you to the Parsons Bench. And as I have said, at least in my last couple of videos, it has been a while. And, but it's time for another little project. One of the problems we have is right now, I'm going to spin around, is in my shop, I have absolutely no room. I have nowhere to sit, hardly anywhere to stand. There's just no room to work. We live in southeastern North Carolina and about 45 minutes or so from the coast. And so whenever there's a tropical storm or a hurricane, we have to move some stuff out of our carport, the storage area in our carport, so that it doesn't flood, because our property has flooded a couple of times. And so it all ends up in my shop, and that's kind of where it stayed. So we're going to build some shelving in there, and so that will allow us to store stuff on those shelves. It'll be high enough that we don't have to worry about the property flooding in there during any kind of storm or anything. So we're going to build some simple shelves out of 2x4s and some plywood. I'm sitting on a stack of 10 8-foot 2x4s, and the way these shelves are going to work is we're going to basically build on the ground 4 rectangles, boxes, let's say, out of these 2x4s. They're going to be 4 feet long and about 18 inches deep, roughly. And then what we'll do is we'll attach those to the studs on the wall on the back side, and then we'll have some 2 legs on the front that I think will be fine. So the first thing we're going to do is cut these down to size. I need 4 of them. They're going to be 50 inches long. Those will go along the back so that they can span 4 studs. And then I'll need 4 that are 4 feet long. And then I'll figure out the rest so that we get 18-inch depth. That's what I'm wanting. And so it should go pretty good. So let's make some room, clear some room to get to my miter saw, and let's cut these 2x4s down to length. Okay, so we've cleared out a little bit of space so I can get to my miter saw. I've got a, it's kind of junky, I know, but I've got a rolling stand set up as basically sort of as a stop. So I need 4 of these 2x4s cut to 50 inches. Those will go along, those will be the back of that box that I was describing. So let me cut these 4 down, and then we're going to cut 4 more at 48 inches. And then we'll figure out what comes next. Okay, so I've got the long pieces for the shelving. 4 at 50, 4 at 48 for me. Yes. I want it 18 inches deep. So with the front and back boards, then I need to cut the others at 15 inches. That will give me 18 inches for the actual shelf. And so let's get busy cutting those. And with 4, I think what I want is 12, so that'll be 1 on each end, and then I think just 1 in the middle, 1 support. And so I'm going to cut 12 of these at 15 inches. All right, that should be all of the cutting that I need to do until we get to the plywood. And I've got a sheet of 3/4 inch that I had gotten when I was doing another project. So let me go, I want to go lay this out and be sure that I got all the correct number of pieces and how it's going to look. So let's go. All right, I got these roughly laid out. And these are the 50 inch. They'll go on those studs. There's 4 studs. And so yeah, we'll build 4 of these, and then we'll put them into place. I think that'll work out nice. All right, so I'm going to go get some screws and my driver, and we'll get these things assembled. There's one. We'll do 3 more. I'll take care of that, and I'll see you in a little bit. All right, so we got all 4 of these done. I won't even pretend that they're perfect, but they're gonna be just fine. They're storage room, storage. They're plenty sturdy. They'll have 3/4 inch 2x4 on them. 3/4 inch plywood for shelving, but they will be more than adequate, more than enough to hold what we have stored. So next thing I'm gonna do is clean out the storage area so we can mark where each one's gonna go and get them in place and attach them. So let me get that cleaned out before we get back on this. All right, it's about 2 days later. I didn't get anything done yesterday. I actually spent the day on the boat with the new owner of our boat that was sold. Anyway, I've got this part of the storage unit area cleaned out, so we're ready to start hanging those frames. So what I've done, I need the first one, the bottom of it needs to be about 25 inches. So I've cut 2 spacers and just screwed them in so I can set one side on that, and then I'll use these 2x4s. I'll attach that with some clamps so I can get everything screwed in. So let's see how much damage we can get done. Okay, we got the first one in, but what I want to do is go cut this spacer because I want 18 inches. So I'll cut that to the length I need, so then I can just set it on there and just make it a whole lot easier. So let me cut that and I'll be back. Okay, I got the spacers cut. I went ahead and attached it. But they're cut, I think, like 14.5, so it should make the top of the shelf around 18, give or take a fraction. So the next step, once I put the rest of the screws in, will be cutting the plywood shelving, and that'll probably be next weekend, or at least for several days. But anyway, I will see you when I get to that. All right, we're going to bring this project to a close today. We're going to begin today we need to cut 4 shelves, and they're going to be 18 by 48. Now this plywood is, I think, 49 inches wide, so we're going to cut the 4 at 18. And then I'm going to take it to my table saw to cut it to length. That'll be easier. What I've done, I don't have a track saw or anything. So I just got my circular saw and my straight edge. And I've measured 16.5 inches from the end and clamped it. And that will allow for the plate. And then my cut will be right at 18 inches. And so anyway, we're going to cut 4 of these. So let's get going. Alright, that went smoothly. I'm gonna run real quick and just check the width on the shelf, and then I'll be right back. Alright, that one fit perfect, so let me measure and cut and measure and cut and measure and cut. Alright, those are cut. I'm gonna run in, just knock off 1 inch on each end on the table saw. Okay, a little problem, and it's all on me. I keep thinking I'm cutting this 24 inches instead of 48. So we're gonna come back and we're gonna do basically the same way we did cutting the panels to begin with. So I've got my square, and I've got it set to 2.5 inches. That gives me 1.5 inches offset for the plate, and then 1 inch for the that I'm wanting to take off. All right, got all 4 of those cut. So we're ready. What I'm gonna do is take a broom real quick, knock off the sawdust that's on them, and then we'll get them in place and put a couple of screws in. Hopefully I got those to hold them in place. All right, let's go get this thing finished. All right, we're in the dark, cramped spaces of the storage room. Just gonna place these in, and while I measured more than once before I cut, I'm hoping they fit. All right, fit perfect. I am going to run a few screws, maybe in the corner, in the middle. I ended up going with 4. Instead of the corners, I'm just going to put 1 in each of the 4 sides. So. All right. I'll say that is complete. I'm going to trim off these sometime. But it's all done now, except for moving everything that's in the shop that needs to be in here. So we'll get that done. This is not a pretty project. It's not a perfect project, but it is, as I keep saying, and I tell folks, it's perfect for what I need. And it's easy. I've been wanting to do this for years, just kept putting it off. So maybe this will spark some ideas for you. Do it even better. Have fun with it. And I'll see you next time in the Parson's Bench workshop.